Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Lloydminster Rotary Club welcomed another guest speaker this week. The Lloydminster Learning Council is determined to bring books into the hands of early years children with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Helena Croak spoke with the club on the progress of the newly introduced program into the border city.
It's called Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, and so what that is it is open for Saskatchewan residents with children ages 0 to 5, and it provides them with a free monthly age-appropriate book mailed right to their house every month.
The program is intended to be a gateway for early years kids to learn how to read with no charge. Families will be mailed a new book every month until age 5.
This was actually a project of my predecessor, Rebecca Robinson. She was really amazing at getting this started and very passionate about the literacy field. We're very grateful to be able to offer this to Saskatchewan families thanks to a generous donation by Sask Power. However, we would absolutely love to be able to expand the program into the Alberta side if funding becomes available.
The Lloydminster Learning Council believes this will help kids develop before beginning elementary school. The Lloydminster Ukrainian Cultural Association, in partnership with the Lloydminster Co-op, is selling boxes of Ukrainian-themed produce as a way to raise money. Abby St. John has more.
I'm happy to be joined here today with Amanda Boyachek with the Lloydminster Ukrainian Cultural Association. Thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem. Nice to be here.
Of course. Now, the co-op, in partnership with the Ukrainian Cultural Association, is selling fundraising boxes full of Ukrainian-themed produces like pierogies and sausages. Tell me a little bit about what that partnership is, what people can find in these boxes, and kind of a bit about what the fundraiser is about.
Well, we've done these fundraisers for, I think, the last 2 years, and they sell really well. So we just keep doing them. People love them. They keep coming back to buy them. And in each box, you can find 2 sausage rings, a bag of pierogies, a package of cabbage rolls, and also a package of nalisnika, which is a like a cottage cheese filled crepe. And they are really quite amazing. Once you try them, you'll love them.
Yes, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever met a single person who has disliked any kind of Ukrainian food. I think it's one of the best, in my opinion. It's so delicious. Now, this is a fundraiser. What is the money being donated to, and kind of what the proceeds are going towards?
So the boxes are $49.99, and $10 from each box sold goes to our club. And all the money that we fundraise, it helps the dancers directly by keeping the costs low for enrollment.
Which is amazing. Now, you said that this has been going on for a couple of years. Why did you guys decide to start this fundraiser and partner with the co-op to sell these boxes?
You know what? I'm actually not too sure how we fell into the co-op's lap, but we like it.
No, that's totally awesome. And especially it is, like you said, it's a way to bring down the cost of enrollment for your dancers, which is always amazing to see. Now, finally, how can people purchase it, and how long will the co-op be selling the boxes for?
The boxes will be on sale until April 6th or until they sell out. And you just come to the co-op and they're in the freezer right beside the meat department.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I love this fundraiser, and I think, like you said, it's been going on for a couple years and people have been loving it. So I have no doubt that this year will be just the same as well. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Abby.
And now let's take a look into the PTLN archives in this week's edition of Retrospect. We start this week's edition of Retrospect in 1994 with a St. Paul area MLA leaving his party months after the provincial election.
On June 15th, 1993, Liberal candidate Paul Langevin was elected as MLA for the Lac-La-Biche-St. Paul riding. But after only 9 months in provincial politics, Langevin says he has had his fill of the Alberta grits.
The decision for me did not come easy.
Paul Langevin says he is leaving the Liberal Party to sit as the only independent MLA in the legislature. Langevin says 9 months ago, the Alberta Liberals campaigned for a balanced budget, free votes in the legislature, and an honest and open government. But he says now it seems the Decore Liberals have changed their tune.
We're not doing that. We seem to be going into the opposite direction. And I have a moral obligation to step aside and say, I will represent my people the way I campaign. I will honor my campaign promises.
Liberal leader Lawrence Decore was quick to respond to Langevin's departure.
He's unhappy that we've taken a direction that he thinks is at variance with what we said during the election. I don't think it is at variance, and the caucus doesn't think it's at variance.
It could be a problem.
St. Paul Mayor John Trefanenko was Langevin's Conservative opponent in the last election. He says the MLA may be jumping the Liberal ship too quickly after such a short time in government.
It's going to be something new for Mr. Langevin because he's only been in politics for 9 months. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how well he can represent our constituency.
Public reaction to Langevin's announcement was mixed.
Yes, I think an independent might be better.
If he was going to do that, he should have done it right off the bat. Never went for the Liberal Party. But the way he did, I don't like it.
He has to go with what he feels is right for his constituency. He doesn't really have a choice, or he's not going to be voted in next time.
Langevin says he now plans to bring more government attention to issues facing rural Albertans. He says he will give his riding a stronger voice in Parliament with his new independent status. And he says now when he has to cast a vote in Parliament, it will be a free vote following the direction of his constituents instead of a leader he can no longer support.
And now we fast forward to 1998, with producers across the country, including the Midwest, showing interest in growing a new crop.
We're calling it hemp fever. It's like a bit of a gold rush we've had.
Hemp fever has swept across the prairies since Federal Health Minister Alan Rock announced the decriminalization of the crop back in mid-March. Thousands of producers have logged onto the Health Canada websites to find out more about the wonder crop and apply for licenses to grow it. It's a similar frenzy at Alberta agriculture offices.
We've had tons of inquiries. I mean, to the point where in some offices answering machines can't handle it anymore.
All that excitement over a crop with almost no background information. It is known that hemp will be tightly controlled in Canada. Among the regulations, only Canadian Seed Growers Association members will be allowed to produce seed. You must grow a minimum of 10 acres, and THC content must be no higher than 0.3%. THC is what gives marijuana its kick and sits at about 17% in the drug.
Police checks have to be done. The Health Canada wants to know where it is, what you're going to do with it, how you're going to store it. They want to make sure that it's tested so that the drug level in it is at the limits that they've been set so that no one's out there smoking it.
If you're willing to abide by those rules, Bus says hemp will grow well here in the Midwest, in dry soils, and even better in wet conditions. He says it will likely stand about 5 or 6 feet tall in Midwest fields. However, once it's up, how do you harvest it?
We're not really clear on that yet. There's not a lot of data about people taking conventional combines into this stuff. It's always been done with different special equipment, or in places like China, it's all done by hand. So we're still working out that aspect of it. Like the production with Western equipment is something that has been relatively unexplored.
Another big question that needs to be answered is, where will it be processed?
We have fears that some people are going to put in 10 acres of this stuff and then not know what to do with it. But we're trying to allay those fears as much as possible. The principle of good special crops production is first you find a market. If there's no market for it, you might want to play with it, but be prepared to maybe have to throw it all away at the end if you can't find a place to sell it.
Aside from a possible plant in Manitoba, no big industry players have stepped forward to say they'll turn the crop into either oil or clothing. And since the seed market is out of the question for most producers, the fiber and grain markets are the ones most producers will be targeting. Buss says he does not want to discourage anyone from growing hemp. However, he is advising producers to get all the information possible before seeding the crop.
This has been a look at our week in retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
All right, it's time now for us to check in with Shelby Clark as we take a look at your evening weather forecast.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, taking a first look at your weather forecast here starting off the week. We are just sitting at -5, seeing a little bit of wind chill out there, so it is feeling just around -11. But, you know, we have been seeing not too bad of a day today. We were looking at a little bit of those flurries yesterday as we ended off the weekend. So as you can see, if you stepped outside, we have a little bit of snowfall out there on the ground. But, you know, we are going to be seeing some nicer days ahead this week, so that will help melt things down and warm things up. So we are starting off quite cool for the week, but don't worry, I think we will be seeing some beautiful temperatures ahead. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we have cooled down with most spots now seeing those minus points as well starting off this week. Compared to last week, of course, we were looking at some nice plus temperatures ending it off. Now we have cooled down starting off this week. They're all seeing those single digits, so that's nice to see. The coolest we have been seeing is closer to us here in the border city with Provost at -6. Most are just seeing between -1 to -3 degrees, I would say, on our Alberta side. -5 up in Marwayne, hitting that 0 mark there in Bonnyville. Lac-La-Biche is just at -1 as well as down in Vegreville. And then we have the warmest condition on our Alberta side over in Edmonton just at 3 degrees. So Edmonton is seeing that plus temperature, of course, so it's beating out everybody on that side. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, they have cooled down as well starting off this new week. All spots seem to be at those minus points, all single digits, so that's nice. But the coolest we are seeing is North Battleford there at -9 as they are getting closer to those double digits. The rest are just seeing around -1. We are seeing some -5s match with us here in the border city. Looking at that -6 down in Macklin, and then we got -2, -3 for Green Lake and Bennell Lake. So definitely a switch up on our Saskatchewan side as well as we have cooled down starting off this week. North Battleford will be going down to a low of -16, so they are seeing the coolest temperature at the moment, so they will probably be seeing a cooler evening low temperature for tonight. They won't be seeing a high chance of some precipitation or flurries, anything like that for tonight, so they will be seeing a calm night, although they will be cooling down quite a bit. For their Tuesday, North Battleford will be looking at -5 for their daytime highs. So looking at that minus mark, that single digit once again, slightly warmer than what they have been seeing today. And they will be looking at a mixture of some sun and cloud for tomorrow. So hopefully that sun will help warm things up. Cold Lake will be going out to a low of -8, so seeing that single digit, they won't be cooling down by too much for their evening low tonight. They won't be seeing a high chance of some snowfall as well. And then for their Tuesday, Cold Lake will be looking at that plus temperature, that 1 degree mark for their daytime high, and a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. So a beautiful Tuesday is expected in Cold Lake tomorrow indeed. And for us here in the border city, we will be going down to that low of -11 for our evening low, so hitting those double digits for our evening low temperature. So we will be cooling down, but you know, we have seen worse in previous years, so not too bad. And then for our Tuesday, we will be looking at -3 for our daytime highs, so warming up slightly for tomorrow, and hopefully we will be seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds that'll help kind of warm things up. And now ending off with taking a look at your 3-day forecast, we will be looking at that -3, and then as I was saying, hopefully warming up through the rest of the week, which we will be seeing -2 Wednesday, and even looking at that plus temperature on Thursday and a lot more sunshine. So just be prepared. We will be seeing some nicer temperatures for the rest of the week here in the border city. And that's all I have for now for a first look at your weather forecast.
Thank you so much for that, Shelby. After the break, we have details on the challenges foreign trained doctors face in Saskatchewan. Everything Equine on the Border will be running once again at the Lloydminster Exhibition April 14th to the 16th. With a preview of the event, here's Thomas Wildman.
Today we have Dallas Eckett, the chairman of the Everything Equine on the Border event, which will be taking place at the Lloyd X coming up later on this month. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Dallas.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Dallas, so let's start with the keynote speaker that is going to be coming. She's a very high-profile person in the equine world. Tell me a little bit about her and how important it is that she's coming to speak at Everything Equine.
Yeah, for sure. We were lucky to get Amberly Schneider up this year. Anybody that's watched the Netflix movie Walk, Ride, Rodeo, that's based on her story. She was in an accident, lost the use of her legs, was determined to get back to riding and barrel racing, and she was able to do that. She's a pro barrel racer again, so very lucky to get her up here. She's going to come up Saturday afternoon. She's going to start with a small group, and that's a mental prep session. Then Saturday evening, we're going to open the doors in the convention center. We'll feed you supper, and then at 8:15, Amberly is going to take the stage and do a keynote address. So we're very excited about that. And then Sunday morning, we'll have a meet and greet that's open with your admission. Get in line, have a meet and greet with Amber Sunday morning.
Excellent. And then with Amber is, of course, going to be a big part of throughout the entire event. But last year, you guys had the Trainers Challenge and a few other events. Tell me about all of those other events that you guys are going to be having, kind of when they're going to be happening this coming up next week.
Okay. Yeah, we're still having the Trainers Challenge. That's going to kick off. We're going to do an extra session this year. Last year, we just did a Friday afternoon session. So this year, we're going to kick off, and we're going to do a Friday morning and afternoon. So the Trainers Challenge is going to kick off at 9:30 Friday morning. We're going to do 3 sessions. Each trainer is going to do a session Friday morning. We'll start again at 12:30 on Friday, 9 on Saturday, 12:30 for the second go, 9:30 Sunday, and then the finals at 4 in the big arena for the Trainers Challenge. 3 very exciting trainers for that. Cade Mills, Braden Bernier, and Trevor Murtis are coming for that. And our clinics in the big arena, we have Lori Duff is going to teach some working equitation. She's been all over Canada, North America, and the world, teaching and learning as well as showing horses. Jeff Hoare is coming from Innisfail to teach and instruct some cow horse. He has been all over North America. He showed, he instructs, he trains horses for others as well in the cow horse and reining and cutting, so very knowledgeable that way. And Lori Duff is coming. She's going to do double duty for us. She's judging the Trainers Challenge, and as well she's going to do a junior and 4-H clinic at the noontime, Friday and Saturday. So very excited about the clinics and everything.
And so if people would like to come and learn about training horses and stuff like that, and just would like to come and see the Trainers Challenge and see Amberly, where can they go to get tickets and kind of be able to sign up for each of these clinics and events?
So everything's available on the website. Tickets are all available through the website. We do have on Friday we did anyways, have a couple of clinic spots left with Jill and Lori. So if that's something you're interested in, get a hold of the X real quick, and there might still be a spot open for you. And yeah, event tickets are all available online. We've got the VIP experience, reserved seating for the Trainers Challenge. You don't need to get there early to hold a seat. Yeah, check out the website. Lots of information there. The schedule's all posted, as well as the ticket information.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Dallas, for all the information, and we will have more Everything Equine coverage coming up later on this month.
And now let's check in one more time with Shelby Clark for another look at weather.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast. We will be starting off with our central zone of the provinces to kind of check where we are sitting at with these temperatures. And, you know, we kind of expected slightly cooler from when we kind of expanded and looked in our central zone of the provinces. And compared to last week, looking slightly cooler. But now as we start off this week, you know, we aren't really seeing those minuses just yet. On our Alberta side, only up in Cold Lake, getting a little bit closer to us here in the Border City with that -2. The rest have warmed up slightly, so they are still seeing those plus temperatures, still at those single digits, but you know, we're still making it through April, just starting off. So hopefully we will be seeing those double-digit plus temperatures pretty soon here. At the Baskets, just at that 0 mark, well, it's 1 down in Red Deer, 2 degrees over in Rocky Mountain House, while it is 3 there in Edmonton, and the warmest we are looking at for Jasper, Edson, and Whitecourt, 4 and 5 degrees. Going back over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are still looking a lot cooler as they kind of continue that cool streak there. They were looking a lot cooler compared to the Alberta side in all these areas as we were looking last week, and it seems to be the same as we are starting off this new week. -2 in Meadow Lake, matching with Cold Lake there. -9 in Prince Albert and North Battleford as they are getting closer to those double digits. -8 in Saskatoon, and Melfort seems to be the coolest there with -11 as they have, of course, hit those double digits. Now as we go over to our northern zone, we are looking slightly cooler on our Saskatchewan side, but they are looking actually warmer compared to our central zone. They are seeing those minuses, but they aren't quite hitting those double digits. -5 to -7 seems to be the most common track over on this end. La Loche and Buffalo Narrows both just at that 1 degree mark, so they are seeing those plus temperatures in those two spots. Going back over to our Alberta side here, down in these areas, they usually do see some slightly warmer conditions compared to the rest of these areas on our Alberta side in our northern zone. So we're looking at 2 degrees in Grand Prairie, Peace River and Slave Lake both just hitting that 1 degree mark, and then we start to slightly cool down from there. -1 in High Level, and then we have -4 for Fort Chipewyan and Fort McMurray as they are seeing the coolest conditions. But you know, we have seen worse, so it's not looking too bad on our Alberta side here in our northern zone. Going over to our southern zone now, they are actually looking slightly cooler as well, matching more with our northern zone than compared to our central area. So Alberta side in our central area seems to be seeing the warmest conditions yet for today. -1 for Lethbridge and Banff, while Calgary seems to be the warmest condition there, just hitting that 1 degree mark. -4 in Medicine Hat, and then Coronation continues that cool streak as well with -6 as they usually see the coolest conditions in Coronation compared to the rest of those areas on our Alberta side. Going back over to our Saskatchewan side, in our southern zone, they have cooled down quite a bit as we see Yorkton has even reached that -10, and rest of these areas are just seeing -8 to -9 degrees as they are getting closer to those double digits. So we have cooled down starting off this new week, but don't worry, we should be seeing some warmer conditions as we go on through the week. Looking at some overnight evening lows we will be expecting tonight in our surrounding areas. The coolest we'll be seeing is a low of -16 and a low of -15 for Paradise Hill and Meadow Lake. Low of -12 expected for Provost tonight, and those single digits with Bonnyville and Isla Cross with a low of -8 and 9 degrees tonight. So we will be cooling down in some of these areas, almost hitting those -20s, but then we have areas, of course, like Bonnyville and Isla Cross, as we will just be hitting those single digits, and we won't be seeing any high chances of some snowfall tonight in these areas as well, so it should be a pretty calm evening. Looking at our hourly forecast for our Tuesday here in the border city, we will be starting off slightly cooler with around -10, -11 right off in the morning. Then for our daytime high, like we were seeing, we will be hitting that -3, so seeing that single digit, so that will be nice to see that for tomorrow. And we expand a bit more into our week, we will be looking at -2 Wednesday and seeing a little bit more sun Wednesday as well. So that will help warm things up and melt things down. And that will even continue into Thursday and Friday as we head into the weekend. And look at those beautiful temperatures, even hitting that +6 for a few days there. And as we head into next week, be prepared because we will be seeing a beautiful week ahead with that 9 degrees next Monday. That's all I have for now. I'm Jace Mackey. We're having news coming up for you after the break.
Hi, I'm Callan Dunlop with Primetime Local News, and today I'm joined by Mark, who is the event coordinator for the Border City Tattoo Expo that is coming up soon. And Mark, can you just explain what the Border City Tattoo Expo is?
The Border City Tattoo Expo is an event that we're holding here in Lloydminster. It's May 26th to 28th. It's a 3-day event that'll be held at the Civic Center. Now, this will hold roughly 60 to 80 artists and 10 to 20 vendors from all over pretty much Canada. We have artists from Kamloops, Calgary, Regina, so Manitoba. We hit a broad spectrum of artists from all over the country. I've been lucky enough to travel and go to other tattoo conventions around Canada, meet these artists, so and have the ability now to make friendships and bring them back to Lloydminster here to enable us to have this tattoo event.
What are some things that you've noticed at other tattoo conventions that you'd like to implement into the one in Lloyd?
I really enjoy the tattoo competitions that we have at these tattoo expos around Canada, and this allows an artist such as myself to kind of pick a unique style and showcase some of their talents, right? So I really like the tattoo contest part of things now. I've noticed that over the years, some of the audience isn't really involved with that kind of, participation in that. It's mostly artists that are judging and that kind of thing, which I would like to try to separate us a little bit and involve the crowd with us doing, like maybe involving some of the crowd to do voting on the tattoo as well. We might even get fancy and throw up a QR code so that people in the audience can vote right there. Now, I'm not that tech savvy, so we'll see what there is. I have a great team behind me, so you never know. Anyways, but I want to get the crowd involved in that tattoo competition because it almost is kind of like an ink mastery type feel where, like you have tattoos, you get judged on them, that kind of thing. And it'd just be cool to have the audience more involved.
And quickly, is this Lloyd's first tattoo expo?
So this is Lloydminster's first event of this. Now it is in neighboring communities, let's say like Saskatoon, Edmonton, Calgary. Red Deer just had their first one last year. So it's more the bigger centers that have these type of events because you do need clientele for the artists as well. So to do it in a small center, you got to make sure that the people are going to come. So that's why it's great that you reached out. I want to try to get the word out as much as possible.
Can you talk a little bit about the registration process for this event?
So if you're a client that wants to come to this event, you maybe want to get tattooed. There is several ways to do so. One of them is that you can go on our Instagram or our webpage. We have all the artists that are attending there. You can search through their portfolios and kind of see what style you're looking for and get in touch with them directly and pre-set up appointment before the artist even comes and kind of do it that way. Now, there's lots of artists that do walk-ins all day, right? So you could come to the event, walk around, see who you like, see if they have time that day, or just come and check things out, see the type of talent that's there, the artistry that's there, the people. It's a real cool morale that's at these tattoo expos. That's why I'm really excited to bring this to Lloyd because I don't think that there's any kind of event that is in this caliber.
Are there any last points you'd like to make?
Yeah, it's going to be a really great event. We're going to have food, we're going to have beer, we're going to have music, a DJ, MC. Like Cody from Maz Entertainment, he's super great, man. He's going to put on set up a pretty cool show. Mike Dubs he's an amazing guy, really great community, hardworking dude. I'm excited to be teaming up with people like this to have them involved in this tattoo show. I think with us helping each other and businesses helping each other, we can really make stuff like this be pretty incredible, and it does nothing but benefit Lloydminster and what we have to offer as a community.
Well, that's perfect. That covers everything that I wanted to say. Thank you so much for taking the time, Mark.
No problem. Thanks, man. Take care.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
So I'm here with Amanda Graff about the Malonka in May event coming up. So Amanda, can you tell us just a little bit more about this event?
Sure. So this is one of two major fundraisers that our club hosts every year. The first one being our festival, which just wrapped up at the Vic Juba, and the second one being our Malonka Festival. Typically, this event is held in January. And we see about 500 guests attending. And it's a celebration for Ukrainian New Year's. COVID kind of put a damper and forced us to change a few things. And what we did last year was we moved the event just with the uncertainty of what was going to be acceptable and what was not acceptable with groupings. We decided to move it to May, and we made a smaller event. So this event is 250 people, 250 guests. And last year actually went over really well. We sold out. And we decided this year we're going to try it one more time. And just another note, though, that next year we are back in January as it's our 50th anniversary celebrations. We're back at the Stockade grounds. We're back to a bigger event, so to speak. Malonka in May is kind of a Christmas in July feel. We thought there was less events going on that we were competing with because lots of Ukrainian clubs host the similar event in January. And it's just nicer weather. It was all around a successful event last year.
And can you also tell us where and when this event will be taking place?
So our Malonka in May is May 6th. It's going to be held at the Rolling Greens, their pavilion out there. And yeah, it starts at 5 o'clock with cocktails. We then proceed into our dancers. All of our dancers have prepared a special treat for all of the participants or guests, and then we will have a Ukrainian supper and then a dance, a Ukrainian dance afterwards. With contemporary music as well as some of those Ukrainian throwbacks. There is the bar. There's a bar. There is a huge silent auction every year. We have door prizes, and it's typically an extremely fun day.
Well, it seems like you've almost answered my next question. Could you please go into a little bit more detail about what else will be at the event besides dancing?
Yeah, so silent auction is also a huge success every year. I think everyone is really excited to come and look at all of our items. Our community is incredibly generous with supporting our club and the Ukrainian Cultural Society, so that's always great. As per every year, we have the complimentary vodka shops at the door. That is the Ukrainian tradition. So everyone who walks through the door who wants to partake will get a Ukrainian shot. We will have, of course, our dancers. We will have some door prizes, perhaps some games. We're not sure about that yet. And a dance. And dance is always, there's no good Ukrainian dance without a Kolomenka at some point in the night. So anyone who's not familiar with the Kolomenka, it's a big group dance where everyone gets in a circle and people take turns going into the middle to show off their Ukrainian and maybe not so Ukrainian moves.
And where will people be able to sign up or register for this event if they have to?
So to get tickets, you're going to go to our Lloydminster Ukrainian Cultural Association page. The Malonka Dancers Dance under the Lloydminster Ukrainian Cultural Association. And all the information on purchasing tickets can be found on there, as well as who you're going to contact. You're going to contact Tara Jarvis for or Jarvis for the information for purchasing the tickets. Adult tickets are $45. Youth are $25, and anyone 2 and under are free. And just, I know for our silent auction, we always have lots of awesome items for the little ones as well, because they like bidding on things as well.
And is there anything else you'd like to add on the end that I just haven't brought up in our conversation so far?
You know what? Like I said, this is a big fundraiser for us. I think it's also an opportunity to bring cultural awareness to our community. We, considering what's going on in the world today, we're really more cognizant than ever how important it is for our society, the Lloydminster Ukrainian Cultural Association, plus the Malonka dancers, to celebrate Ukrainian culture and to bring it to the city and of Lloydminster and surrounding communities. So anybody that wants to come out and wants to support cultural initiatives in Lloydminster, or just get in touch with maybe their Ukrainian or not so Ukrainian roots, you are more than welcome. Ukrainians are welcome, and non-Ukrainians. We actually have many dancers that aren't Ukrainian, that just love the music, that love the costumes, and that love the culture.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I think that should be everything I have to ask.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Ending off with another quick look at your 7-day forecast. We will be looking at -3 tomorrow, -2 Wednesday, and then we start to warm up from there, seeing a lot more sun starting on Thursday, heading into the weekend. So be prepared for some beautiful days ahead. We'll even be hitting those 6 degrees for the next few days and even reach that 9 degrees next Monday.
All right, thank you so much for that, Shelby, and thank you for starting another week with us here on Primetime Local News. Have a good night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.